The dog and the owner trapped in disaster. Stories of survival, loyalty, and unbreakable bonds. In moments of crisis, when disaster strikes and survival hangs by a thread, the bond between a dog and its owner can mean the difference between life and death. Whether caught in the chaos of a raging wildfire, trapped beneath the rubble of an earthquake, or battling through a deadly storm, some dogs and their humans have faced the worst together and lived to tell the tale. These are real-life stories of courage, resilience, and the extraordinary friendship between humans and their four-legged companions. In times of disaster, when fear sets in and hope seems distant, these dogs did more than just survive. They became heroes. Buried alive, a dog and his owner survive an earthquake. In 2016, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake devastated central Italy, leveling buildings and trapping thousands beneath the rubble. Among the survivors was Luca, a retired schoolteacher, and his loyal golden retriever, Milo. When the quake struck in the middle of the night, Luca and Milo were asleep in their small countryside home. Within seconds, the walls trembled and the roof collapsed, burying them both under a mass of bricks and wood. Dust filled the air, making it nearly impossible to breathe. For hours, Luca lay trapped beneath the debris, unable to move. His only comfort was the presence of Milo, who was partially buried but still alive. The dog whimpered, licking Luca's face to keep him awake. As the hours dragged on, Milo used his paws to dig, creating a small pocket of air for his owner. When rescuers arrived nearly 30 hours later, they heard faint barking beneath the wreckage. Following the sound, they found Milo standing protectively over Luca, his body pressed against his owner to keep him warm. Both were exhausted and dehydrated, but miraculously alive. Rescue workers called Milo a hero, but to Luca, he was more than that. He was his guardian angel. Through the fire, a German shepherd leads his owner to safety. In 2018, the Camp Fire became the deadliest wildfire in California history, destroying entire communities and forcing thousands to flee for their lives. Among them was Nathan, a 67-year-old man living alone in the woods, and his German shepherd, Shadow. As flames engulfed the trees around their cabin, Nathan tried to escape in his truck, but the fire had already cut off the road. Smoke choked the air, and the heat was unbearable. Trapped with no way out, Nathan prepared for the worst. But Shadow had other plans. The dog, sensing danger, barked urgently and ran toward a narrow deer path Nathan had never noticed before. With no other option, Nathan followed. The two ran for miles, flames licking at their heels, guided only by Shadow's instincts. After nearly 5 hours of running, they stumbled onto a road where firefighters found them, covered in ash but alive. Nathan later said, "If it weren't for Shadow, I wouldn't be here. He saved my life." Lost in a blizzard, a husky becomes his owner's only hope. In Alaska, 2021, an experienced hiker named Jake and his Siberian husky, Coda, set off on a routine trek in the mountains. But as night fell, an unexpected blizzard rolled in, reducing visibility to almost zero. Within hours, Jake was disoriented and freezing, his phone battery dead, and his body succumbing to hypothermia. Desperate, he tried to find shelter, but the snow was too deep. Sensing his owner's distress, Coda sprang into action. He curled around Jake, using his thick fur to provide warmth, and repeatedly licked his face to keep him conscious. When Jake could no longer move, Coda began digging a small trench in the snow, forcing his owner to stay inside it to avoid exposure. For nearly 18 hours, the dog remained by Jake's side, keeping him warm until a search and rescue team finally spotted them. One rescuer later said, "Without that dog, Jake wouldn't have made it through the night." Trapped in floodwaters, a Labrador's determination saves his owner. When Hurricane Harvey struck Texas in 2017, thousands were forced to evacuate. But Emma, an elderly woman in her 70s, was left stranded in her flooded home. As the water level rose, she climbed onto a floating mattress, her black Labrador, Duke, swimming beside her. For hours, Duke paddled against the currents, pushing the mattress towards safety. Every time Emma started to slip into the water, Duke grabbed onto her clothes with his teeth, refusing to let her go. After nearly 7 hours drifting, they reached a rescue boat. Emma was barely conscious, but Duke never left her side. Even when paramedics arrived, "He kept me alive," she later said. "I didn't think I was going to make it, but Duke never stopped fighting for me." A tornado's wrath. A boxer shields his family. During the 2011 tornado outbreak in Alabama, a family of 4 huddled in their bathroom as the storm ripped through their town. Their boxer, Rocky, paced nervously, sensing something was wrong. As the tornado demolished their house, debris rained down on them. In that moment, Rocky threw himself over the children, shielding them with his body. The walls collapsed around them, but the dog refused to move, absorbing most of the impact. When the storm passed and rescuers arrived, they found the family shaken but alive. Rocky had multiple injuries but survived. The family lost everything, but they still had each other. Thanks to Rocky's bravery, the unbreakable bond of survival, disasters have a way of revealing what truly matters. For these dogs and their owners, survival was not just about making it through the storm, the fire, or the flood. It was about protecting each other, standing together, and proving that love knows no bounds. From Milo the earthquake survivor to Shadow the wildfire guide. From Coda the blizzard protector to Duke the flood warrior. These dogs remind us that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes, they have fur and 4 legs. Their instincts, loyalty, and selflessness have saved countless lives. But more than that, they have shown the world what it truly means to be a friend. Because when disaster strikes, a dog's love is the one thing that never wavers. These stories remind us that in the face of disaster, loyalty and love can make all the difference. If you were touched by these incredible survival tales, please like, share, and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to Dog Discoveries with Florence for more inspiring and emotional dog stories.